In 2024, the State Chamber's annual agenda was focused on three areas here at the Capitol: workforce, economic development, and tax reform. The State Chamber Government Affairs team put the future of workforce development in the crosshairs this spring with House Bill 3278 and 2672. Together, they align K-12 graduation requirements to career pathways to meet the business community's future workforce needs.
By creating flexibility and increasing some rigor through math, I think that ultimately our students are going to be more self-assured and better prepared for what will come their way in the future. All of this is geared toward a student's ability to create a path that they need and not stifle them into one route. They get to make choices, and that's important.
We've been working on this for a year and a half with an amazing group of stakeholders that came together with a common bond of how do we get students ready for the workforce. It was awesome to see both sides of this equation, public education and the business community, come together. It's a win-win.
Efforts to build out the newly created Oklahoma Workforce Commission were focused on Senate Bill 1193.
So we've got to force collaboration between K-12, between career tech and higher ed. We have to allow industry and business to be able to partner with our institutions and say these are the skill sets that we need so that we can hire your citizens.
Heavy negotiation throughout the session, lots of iterations, lots of back and forth on that, and more than enough to help the commission begin to execute on their mission to hire a director, get the data analytics they need, and begin to go forth and making sure our workforce efforts in the state are aligned and on target for what our economy needs.
The State Chamber's done a great job getting that rolling. Obviously we didn't get the funding we were hoping for, but being able to continue to move forward with that, keep the progress going on what we've already built upon is paramount. We've got to continue to do all that we can to really lean into the workforce development piece, because we know that we're going to be behind the 8 ball in the future.
The State Chamber teamed with others to rethink the way Oklahoma approaches economic development in 2024. House Bill 3252 and Senate Bill 1447 reorganize and restructure the Department of Commerce to better recruit new businesses and better serve the ones already in Oklahoma.
This is going to be laser focused on recruitment of new businesses and also very, very intentional with supporting our existing Oklahoma companies to help them grow.
Honestly, the Department of Commerce hasn't been significantly looked at statutorily in almost 40 years. And so what we're trying to do with this is just shore things up, just making sure that the Department of Commerce does what the Department of Commerce does.
As we know, Oklahoma is in a national competition for these economic development projects here that we want to be here in Oklahoma. And so in order for us to compete nationally at a high level, we have to have the processes that are competitive with other states. And I think these two bills put us one step closer to achieving that goal.
The Chamber made huge headway into getting Oklahomans off the sidelines and back into the workforce. House Bill 4147 incentivizes employers to support access to affordable, quality child care for their employees through a tax credit.
We say child care is workforce infrastructure. Our employers need us to have a strong child care system in order for us to get everybody back in the workforce.
The demand has stayed the same or increased, but the supply unfortunately has gone down, which has just made daycare even more costly for those slots that are available. Because of rising child care costs, people are making decisions about where they work or if they work based on the availability and cost of child care.
Broad bipartisan support for this, bipartisan authorship. It's really something the legislature can disregard party labels and work together on. Unfortunately, it came down to the end and it was just a victim of the numbers game. It's not something we're going to shy away from. We're going to continue to pursue this and already having some conversations about next year and what we do to make sure we can get it across the finish line.
Government Affairs continued to advocate for the State Chamber Research Foundation's tax plan, modernizing individual income tax brackets and simplifying the corporate income tax were high priorities but fell short thanks to misaligned interests in the House and Senate on tax reform.
Session was a roller coaster. It had its ups, its downs. We're coming out smiling. I'm so proud of our team. We have an amazing group that worked really hard to represent the business community this year and defend the interests that help grow the economy. We had some great wins this year. We had some stuff that didn't get across the finish line, and we're coming back in 2025 for those things. We're keeping the ball rolling to make sure the economy is moving, but also to make sure the policies that we're enacting at the Capitol are helping the business community and helping Oklahomans.